Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Emmerdale Barton family's biggest tragedies as Moira Dingle faces harrowing health ordeal. The Barton Dingles will have no respite from any drama next week, as a barn fire will leave Moira Dingle between life and death, as spoilers have recently confirmed. Viewers of the Yorkshire-based soap have grown increasingly concerned for the farmer portrayed by Natalie J. Robb as she displayed troubling behavior, lashing out at her husband Kane Dingle, played by Jeff Hordley. And amid theories that the pair could go their separate, more speculation surfaced around Moira's health as multiple fans began to wonder if she could be struggling with a drinking problem. In a more recent installment of the ITV drama, Emmerdale viewers were left with more questions when Moira had a worrying seizure. But with a barn blaze set to wreak havoc in the eponymous village, some fans are afraid she could be one of numerous characters to be left at death's door. Another tragedy for her nearest and dearest, who have already suffered from multiple losses, deaths, and betrayals. Earlier this year, Moira's last remaining son, Matty, Ash Palmiciano, was thrown behind bars after he was accused of stabbing Samson Dingle, Sam Hall. While he was innocent, the mere thought of facing prison for a crime he didn't commit as a transgender man was enough to terrorize him and the rest of his inner circle. Both Moira and Maddie's wife, Amy Wyatt, Natalie Ann Jamieson, relentlessly fought to try and keep him safe, and luckily he also received help from a fellow inmate who kept his gender identity a secret. But not everybody was as welcoming as prison thug Robbo, John O'Neill, demonstrated by bullying the vulnerable character. The storyline drew to a close when Maddie was eventually released from prison, allowing Samson and his pal Josh to finally receive comeuppance for their own actions in the ordeal. Samson was notably sentenced to 4 years behind bars, exiting Emmerdale after 15 years, for attacking Josh as a result of tensions built up during Maddie's wrongful incarceration. But before Maddie was at the core of all her worries, his sister Holly, played by actress Sophie Pauls from her debut in 2009, gave Moira a fright due to her drug abuse. Holly's gut-wrenching addiction storyline began when she became Emmerdale's first teenage drug addict with her recreational use of cocaine, used to cope in the aftermath of her failed romance with Aaron Dingle, Danny Miller, in 2010. This unfortunately progressed into a heroin addiction, and desperate to get her fix, Holly notably stole and sold herself for sex to fund her habit. Though her parents tried to make her quit cold turkey, Holly was eventually caught up with her addiction in September 2016, when her mother Moira found her dead from a heroin overdose, an empty heroin wrapper on the floor. The circumstances around Holly's death remained a mystery until Susie Merton's Martell Edinburgh arrival in Emmerdale in 2022, as she was revealed to have given Holly the drug that eventually killed her. Moira's partners have also been the center of tragedy. Before her explosive brawls with Emmerdale tough man Kane, Moira was married to John Barton, the father of Holly and Maddie Barton, whom she married in January 1990. For years he was also believed to be the father of Adam Barton, but his brother James was unveiled as the lad's biological father in a shock twist. Holly, Maddie, and Adam had to wave their father goodbye in 2012, when his car, which he was driving with Moira, slipped on ice and fell into a ravine. John went into cardiac arrest, and doctors vainly tried to perform emergency surgery on him. John eventually breathed his last with his family surrounding him in early 2012. 4 years later, his brother James also died after being pushed off a bridge, landing straight onto Ashley Thomas' car and causing a huge 19-car pileup as serial killer Emma Barton spiraled. James, the father of her children Pete, Ross, and Finn, was killed by Emma as their marriage was headed towards the rocks, and the farmer secretly confessed his love to Moira and kissed her. Furious to find this out, Ross confronted James, resulting in him breaking his leg. The father-son duo tried to hash things out while James was in hospital, unaware that Emma was listening. Descending into madness, Emma promised James she would take care of him, but instead, She mentally abused him before eventually confronting him herself about his kiss with Moira. After pushing him onto the Houghton bypass, leading him to die in hospital from his injuries, Emma tried to regain control of her mental state, but only sank further as she began to turn to religion to cope. In 2017, when a fire broke out in Moira's barn, Emma revealed to her arch-nemesis that she had killed James, but the confrontation was cut short when both women found out Moira was going to have a baby.